I'm glad to see the positive reception to me also covering this series. As much as I love 100 Girlfriends, its episodic nature leaves me wanting more in terms of storytelling, and now I have it with I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend. All the zaniness of 100 Girlfriends, now with an overarching ongoing story. Shame this series is monthly though, as the story is interesting and I want to know what happens next, but the chapters being longer I guess kind of makes up for it. I just wish months would fly by faster. As usual, I won't be going over everything as I encourage you to support the team who is fan translating this for us, and go read the actual chapters since this is a new manga series and needs all the support it can get. I'm just here to bring awareness to it. But for now, I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overview of Chapter 3 of I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend. This is the first time I've been to a girl's house. And no, that wasn't me confessing, that's just the title of the chapter. I've totally been to a girl's house before. Moving on. The chapter opens up back at school where we left off in the previous chapter, with the two Karens asking you if they want to go to their house after school. Reminder that we didn't see the house in Chapter 2, just the look that the two Karens gave upon looking at it. And when they got home, apparently they learned they are family now. I mean, you two do share exact 100% of the same DNA, so that checks out. Also, I love Yu's face here. It's super expressive and very reminiscent of how I felt when I got asked to come to a girl's house. After the title card, we enter a flashback to the scene of the two Karens coming home in Chapter 2, where they are greeted by their mom at the door, with each of them saying that the other is calling the house theirs, to where the mom says, well, obviously sisters would be living together. To the horror of these girls now realizing this new reality that they live in, not only are there split personality versions of themselves, but the world now has them believing they are sisters, who have the exact same name. Sense of reality be damned. I do find it funny that Brideside Karen is accepting of being the little sister in this scenario. This also raises a lot of questions regarding how this affects everything, that only you and the Karens will be aware of the change, and to everyone else, this is just how it's always been. I love the implication of this though, especially on someone like the mom. Do you think she woke up and said, I'm a happy mom to two beautiful twin girls that I both named Karen? And as the series goes on, she just magically accepts, I'm a happy mom to beautiful triplets that I all named Karen. Until eventually we arrive to all 7 Karens and she's like, wow, how did I survive giving birth to 7 girls? And the fact that I named them all Karen. No need to think about it that much. Speaking of 7 Karens, I know in the last video I said 6 if you didn't count the young Flashback Karen, but editor Tuesday over at Zune Scans pointed out to me that in this art, where the giant text that says new series covered up another Karen, and even then provided this fun Photoshop look at the other Karens in the background. So we are getting 7 Karens, possibly 8 if young Karen gets confirmed to be another character. Now let's do our favorite thing, speculate. The one onto the left here is very clearly a shy, probably awkward bookworm kind of Karen, given her modest attire and glasses, giving a weird mix of Shizuka and Miku from Quintuplets kind of vibe. Right above her though, this is very much a sporty Karen, with the short haircut and the tracksuit. Then off to the right, we have what looks to be maybe some kind of mean girl or maybe a tsundere kind of Karen. The red in her design is giving me firecracker kind of character traits. We then have 2 more Karens we don't see the faces of and have very little from their clothes to work from. The one on the left here has a green ribbon in her hair, and the one on the right, yeah, I got nothing. If you guys got any ideas that you can pick up from their attire, please leave them in the comments below. It'll be fun to see if we are right or wrong on these character tropes. Back to the chapter itself, the Karens ask you again if he can swing by their place, to where Brightside is flustered by Can't Be Bothered Karen by outright admitting that it's forgiving their answer to his confession from the previous chapter, really living up to her moniker that she really can't be bothered by keeping a secret. The school day ends and they are on their way to Karen's house, where they remember that, oh yeah, you're both named Karen, so this might get confusing in conversations, where Brightside recommends they get nicknames. Ah, finally. Even better than calling them Brightside and Can't Be Bothered. My Microsoft Word document was getting angry at me for using those names. Yu starts off with calling the first Karen a total princess, a proper Hime-sama, and Brightside recommends Himika. Huh. What a totally abnormal nickname if I dare say so myself. Then on to Brightside. Following that same logic, Himika comes up with Galka? Galaga? Oh, Galka, because she's a gal, got it. And if you're wondering how they came up with those nicknames, don't worry, it took me a second too. Hime from Hime-sama, and adding the ka from Karen makes Himika, and Galka, obviously gal, and adding the ka on from Karen. This is an interesting naming pattern, and I'm interested to see how the others will turn out. Maybe we'll get Shaika and Sportka and Sunka. They arrive to Himika's room revealing that she isn't the tidiest person around, because, well, she can't be bothered to pick up stuff off the ground. Galka dips and the two of them are left alone, and without any hemming or hawing, she accepts Yu's confession. And oh goody, I get to bring up everyone's new favorite segment from the 100 Girlfriends reviews. It's Zoom Scan's Word of the Week. Or I guess for this series, it's Word of the Month. But Word of the Month doesn't sound as good in the jingle. This month we have the word slipshod. Slipshod is an adjective to describe someone or a work as done with a lack of care, thought, or organization. Someone who lives a life with a lack of care and without thought, or something that was made sloppily. Which I don't know if this works as a description for you very well. It takes a very special kind of organization to live a life like he does with almost zero decisions in life and actively avoiding decisions. That in of itself is a series of decisions. Anyway, then they have a cute moment together with Galka eavesdropping outside the door, where then Himika asks for a request. Yu then steps into Galka's room where we see that she is actually embarrassed and not her usual bright side self, where she admits that maybe letting Himika go first wasn't the best idea. She then goes on to talk about how she is now jealous of how perfect Yu and Himika are together, and tearily admits that she wants to be his number one as well. But Yu counters by saying that he agrees to treat them both as his number one. Himika then joins them and Yu whips out a schedule that he spent all last night planning out to spend time with both Karens equally. This is quite the contrast to how we were introduced to Yu only 2 chapters ago, where he said having people in his life and making schedules was a bother to him. Now look at our man here. Rentaro would be proud. After showing off the plans and telling both Karens what he adores about them, the exhaustion of staying up all night working on the schedule catches up on him, and he suddenly collapses. After a brief nap, Yu finds himself awakening in the lap pillow of the 2 Karens to his surprise. And then we get a nice throb panel very reminiscent of the man himself, Rentaro. Also, turns out that both girls secretly asked Yu to take care of the other, showing that they do care for the other Karen to be happy. And Himika just brushes it off as just wanting to make herself happy, since they are all technically Karen. Yu then comes back to his senses and realizes that he's been spending this whole time in Galka's room, just showing how much of a gal she truly is with all the stuff across her room, such as the various instruments that she doesn't know how to play, or have any interest in learning to play. They are just there because they are instrumental to the good vibes needed. Cut to sometime later and Yu is heading off and acknowledging that they are now boyfriend and girlfriend. Galka asks for a classic "see you tomorrow" hug, and immediately Himika is jealous and asks for one in return, and he hugs them both at the same time. Boy, this seems awfully familiar. We're back at school and Yu is pondering over what the charm said about splitting Karen's personality into pieces, and if these two are the only pieces of Karen's personality. And Himika says that if there are more, they are bound to show up sooner or later. And wouldn't you know it, exactly that happens. As the teacher introduces that the class is getting a new student again, and who would have seen this coming? It's Karen Machihashi. So yeah, this seems like this will be the formula for a while, at least until we acquire all 7 Dragon Balls, I mean Karens. And here we have what I will call Shaika until we get her actual name. The reserved bookworm I mentioned earlier with her giant glasses and small demeanor. Tune in next month to find out more. And there we go with Chapter 3 of I Can't Choose a Childhood Friend. Things are starting to pick up real quickly, and now we have to do another month wait until Chapter 4. I don't know if I'm going to make it that long. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm back on track with 100 Girlfriends this week as I did the Chapter 187 review a couple days ago, and I will be having the next one coming out pretty soon as the next chapter is back, because we're back from break week. Anyway, hope you all guys enjoyed. I've been Moonlight150, and I will see you all on the next video.